Hello, my friends. Welcome to Launch Builder. Now, I'm going to give you a quick run through of the platform that I've created, who it's aimed for, and of course, how to use it. So, getting started, I am sick. So, we are launching an imperfect product while I am in imperfect health. So, bear with me here. But at the same time, that's kind of the whole purpose of this product is to help you launch something even in a rough state so that you can refine it later. So, Launch Builder is an app that I made. It is free for everyone right now. So please dive in, create an account. Currently, we are in my account. So this one I haven't done too much in. I launched my beta, but this is the page that you are greeted with when you first sign in. You also get an interactive demo when you sign on, so you can also click on that and play around with that and kind of see what each page does. But I will give you a quick run through. So, this is our success dashboard. This is where you will probably spend most of your time as far as tracking analytics and things. So, we can add a new goal, can choose the category it goes into, we can say what the goal title is. So hire one new admin, and you don't need a description if you don't want to. Target value, I want one new team member, and I'm going to accomplish it by next week. All right, so there we go. So we have a goal. We can update the progress if we end up getting that team member, and it's complete. Yay. All right, you can do the same thing for tasks. And then this part I really enjoy. So this is the daily check-in. My girlfriend uses the Finch app and another app that kind of does this. So I thought this would actually be super useful for entrepreneurs and people trying to grow their personal brand. So basically, you're just going to tell us how you feel today on a mood score 1 to 10, what your energy levels were, how productive you were, and then you can tell us a few things like what went well, goals completed, all that fun stuff. And then we can see tomorrow's priorities, put our hours worked, and put mood notes. I think I have strep throat. Update check-in. Yay. Now it has been saved, and we can even go back and see a history of our check-ins. So kind of fun. It will even show you your average over the time span. All right, so those are kind of the personal things, how to make your own tasks, your own goals. Now we're going to actually go in and start building our brand. So what I've done here is I've taken a bunch of my favorite frameworks and a bunch of my favorite marketing strategies and personal branding things, storytelling, messaging, all that fun stuff. And I've turned it into a ton of different worksheets. So the cool thing about these is that they will save all your progress, and then they will also update certain pieces of the page. So for instance, here is the story brand framework. I'm sure many of you are familiar with that. And what I've done here is I've taken this framework and I've made it so that it will actually tell your brand story once you have it filled out. It will actually implement each piece of it as you go. And we can do that with a bunch of different things. We have a brand quiz here so you can see kind of what your brand really stands for and kind of how to position yourself and how you think of yourself as a brand. And then we'll target that and kind of push in that direction with the rest of our suggestions and worksheets and things. You can do a SWOT analysis. There's a bunch of different things. All right, so hopefully that's helpful. And then we even get messaging templates. So after you submit these things, you can actually go to messaging templates and it will actually have these filled out for you. So pretty cool. Now, Launch Tracker, the whole point of this website is Launch Builder. So we're trying to build something. So Launch Tracker, you can have multiple products in here. So you can have a product launch tracker. You can click between different ones. You can hit a new launch here. So launch builder beta. And I'm going to do that today. All right, so now we have these two different projects and we can basically add tasks, pre-launch, launch date, post-launch, put a date, description, all that fun stuff. So we can keep track of each of our product launches right here. All right. OKRs, these are basically KPIs. So you can add goals here that you want to accomplish over time that kind of tie into these launches. So simply click new OKR, choose what the objective is, choose the quarter, and you are good to go. Now, what you can do then is add key results, and that will actually update the goal that is associated with it. So if we're going for users or money, whatever it may be, we put that in there. It will update our progress bar and tell us how we're doing. And then once you get to 100, it will be complete. All right, now this is one of my favorite sections. This is the LinkedIn Analytics. So the way this works is you manually add your entry. So I like to do this about once a week. So I like to do mine on Sundays just to kind of keep it consistent. So I can look at my current followers on LinkedIn. I have 8,391. My post impressions last week were 13,400. And post engagements, we'll say 200. All right. So we'll add that entry. Oops, I already entered one today. Add entry. Good job, error system. All right, so then it will actually show you a breakdown of how many new followers you added since your last entry, new impressions, how your engagements look, engagement rate, even has an average right there for you. And then it will have a growth overview and engagement trends. So the more you update this, the more information you'll get. You can look at content performance, follower growth, and just the data that you've entered for the past couple days. Finally, you can actually export this as a PNG or a PDF, and you can share it directly on your social medias, and it will actually have this exact layout and look super, super groovy for you. All right, last but not least is the community section. So the community section is terrible. It is sicker than I am. This place sucks. So the community section, I'm not going to dive into it too much, but basically, as we get more users, I plan on fleshing out the community part much more. But for now, it's basically a way to see what people are posting, show their wins, losses, lessons learned, etc. And in the future, it will be a place to kind of find groups, find niches, find other entrepreneurs that you might want to work with, all that kind of fun stuff. So this will have a lot of work going into it, but for now, it's just kind of there. So if you don't use it, I won't feel bad. But if you have suggestions for it, please let me know. And then finally, we can change our profile. We can add a picture, we can add a cover image, can tell us about everything we do, put our social links. And then if you look at the public profile, you'd have a banner here, profile picture here, all your info would show up. So that's basically it. Hopefully you enjoy Launch Builder. I'm sorry that this was a very informal introduction, but I hope you found it useful, and I really hope that you find Launch Builder useful. And please use it, try and break it. Tell me what you want it fixed. Tell me what updates you want, what the roadmap should look like, features you'd love, and we will go from there. Appreciate it, my friend. Have a good day.